Good afternoon, everybody. I know some of y'all are going to be trickling in, so I just want to go ahead and get this started. We're going to start at about 1 p.m. Let's make sure you're able to share my screen. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Emily. I am going to be the presenter for the Recitals webinar today. So like I said, my name is Emily, and with me today, I've got a couple of awesome Jackrabbit experts. There are support reps, and I've got Bethany Mann here with me and Laura Arndt. They are going to be in the chat answering all of your questions, any of your Q&As and questions, they will be answering. So just please be patient with them. Sometimes we can get a lot of questions all at once, so please make sure to be patient, but we will answer all of your questions as we get started today. So before we get started, I do want to look at ways that we can stay connected. There are so many ways that Jackrabbit makes it so easy for you to stay connected, for you to get your questions answered, and get everything going. So pretty much every single thing on this screen that you're seeing, I am going to be showing you when we do get in Jackrabbit itself. So Jackrabbit support is anything that you can do when it comes to chat, tickets, phone calls, questions that you have. That is where you want to go as Jackrabbit support. Your resource center, that is any of our resources that you are looking for to learn more or to see any of our enhancements. You can look at more Jackrabbit webinars. Those are to be seen. We record every single one of these. So this one right now is being recorded and it will be sent to you after this, as well as being published on YouTube. And any of those other webinars that you are interested in, you can also see those there. Our training system, Jackrabbit training system, I cannot speak highly enough on this system. It is how I learned Jackrabbit training, or Jackrabbit in itself, and I highly recommend any of your new users to go ahead and go through that Jackrabbit training system. It is catered to, it can be for a front desk staff, or it can be all the way up to a new owner or manager. So it depends on the level of training that you want each user to go through. And then lastly is the Facebook user group. So this is one of the most important resources that I think that we do have is that Jackrabbit Facebook user group. This is something that you can join at the end of this webinar. I will have a QR code that you can just scan on your phone. It'll take you straight to the Facebook user group where you can join. It's a great way to be connected with other clients and organizations that do use Jackrabbit. You can post questions. People who also use Jackrabbit can use it, as well as we have facilitators for Jackrabbit that can answer questions as well. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to be learning today. Obviously, everyone is here on a wonderful leap day. We got an extra day this year, so we're going to learn all about recitals. So the first thing we're going to look at is creating a new recital. After that, we're going to look at adding performances, adding classes and students to the performances, identifying conflicts, and finalizing the recital. And then the very last step is just managing your recital once you have everything created. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get into Jackrabbit itself. So first, a couple of things that I do want to mention. So here is your Jackrabbit help. This is one of those resources I was talking to you about. When you click it, it'll bring all of this up. So there's a couple of things that I do want to point out here. These blue at the very bottom, the submit a ticket, request a call, and chat to support. If you have any question at all, please do not hesitate to put one of these in. If you hover over it, it says exactly what time they are open. So that way you can kind of know when you're going to get that response. I highly recommend putting any question in there. You will get the best answer possible when it comes to your questions. Here, you've also got a help center. So these are different articles that you can look at. You can click into it and just type in any kind of keyword that you want, and you're going to find so many articles that have been written to help you as the client and organization. Same thing here for the video help. If you are looking for a 3-minute explanation instead of a webinar, you can go in here and you can look at video help and go with those. Staff training options. This is where you're going to find that Jackrabbit training system. So this is what you can do. There's also many other places or many other things that are in this staff training options, such as, like I said, webinars, videos, trade shows, on-site training, pretty much really anything that you are looking for when it comes to training. This is what you would like to click on. E-payment resources. If you're looking for any questions or answers when it comes to e-payments, I would go right here to e-payment resources. And then here is your Facebook user group. You can click this and it'll bring you to the Facebook user group. And then same thing here with YouTube. This will bring you to YouTube and it will take care of everything that you are going or that you are looking for. So that is the Jackrabbit help. Here is the Jackrabbit resources. This is our resource center. This is everything that you need to see when it comes to getting started, how to do training opportunities. So this might be where you found the recitals module webinar. So there is every month we are posting all of these training opportunities, any enhancements, any new enhancements that we have released, this will pop up. And if you haven't, let's say there's a new enhancement, there will be a little 1 right here. It'll be a red 1. And it'll mean that there's something new that you have not looked at. So I think that is really awesome. Same thing here with featured videos. Show me how. These are tutorials and overviews. You can submit your ideas here. And then this is the this and that. This is the place that we put things that doesn't necessarily fit in one of the buckets above. So that is everything that has to do with all of that. Now let's go ahead and get started in recitals. The first thing I want to do is I want to go here to our settings icon. And I want to go down here to general. This is something I want to point out. If we go to organization defaults, you can scroll all the way down. And this is your recital module settings. So there's a couple of things. There's 2 things that I want to point out here. The first thing is if you want to change this from recital to, let's say you're a swim school or a gymnastics house, you want to change this to swim meets. Or gymnastics competitions. You can easily do that by just getting rid of recital here and putting in whatever it is that you want. So I will keep it as recital. And then this is also something that is newer, display participation on student and class enrollments. I have this clicked as yes. That way that when I go to a student or class enrollment, I can see who is going to be in the recitals. And I'll show you that pretty soon. So I've got that clicked as yes, and you'll see what all of that looks like. To find recitals, we're going to go over to events, and then we're going to click recital right here. This is how you get into the recitals. And it, like you can see, it brought up a new tab. And to create a new one, all you do is create this new recital. So you can create a new recital. You type in a name. Let's say we're going to do St. Patrick's Day showcase. And I want it to be next Saturday. And I click save. I click OK. And then let's say, oh shoot, I clicked the 19th instead of the 17th on St. Patrick's Day. I can go in here and I can edit it here by clicking here and then going down to the 17th. Or if I say, you know what, I don't really want that one, I can just click this delete button. I can click delete and it is gone. If you want to copy a recital, the exact same recital, you can click this here. This will copy it. And then there are different ways that you can copy it. The recital only, the recital and performances, the recital and performances with the classes and students performing. And you'll kind of see what that looks like when we get into a specific recital. So let's go into one. Let's look at the spring show. Let's make that a little bit bigger for you. Gosh, my computer is being slow. Let's try again. There we go. All right. So when we are in a recital, so this is what the recital looks like when you're in the full recital itself, when you're looking at a specific recital. So as you can see, the name here is the spring show. You've got the date, you've got the time, the start time and the end time. You've got a description. And then you've also got this thing called a performance conflict gap. We're going to talk about that a little bit more as we get into things, but that is basically, so if you have younger students who need to do costume changes or anything of that nature, then you can put in that conflict gap and say that you need participants to have two performances before they can be in another performance. And we'll show that when it comes to conflicts. That way you can kind of just make sure that your students have enough time to make the costume changes, to get to the other side of the stage if needed, to do hair, makeup, things of that nature. So let's get into adding performances. To add a performance, you're going to click this button here. You're going to click add. And let's say we're going to do tap dance. And the song is going to be, let's say, TikTok by, I think it's Kesha that does TikTok. We'll see. And the notes, let's say on here, enter on stage right side. And then we click save. And so as you can see, that here has been added at the very bottom. So tap dance here. And then right here is where you will add your classes. So you can add classes here. And then let's see. Gosh, my computer is being so slow today. It has no problem loading that. There we go. Okay. So now I've got my main classes and I'm going to go to dance. So this is all of your categories. This is all of your category ones that you're looking at right here. So I know that this is a dance recital or competition. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click dance. And then I know that I want, let's say, Steppers 1000 in that class or that class to be in there. So I'm clicking it and I'm dragging it over to that performance. Same thing with Steppers 2000. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to drag and I'm going to drop it. So I've got that there, and then I am going to click these plus buttons, and that shows everyone who is currently in the class, enrolled in the class. If I know that, let's say I've talked to Larry Hughes's parents, and Larry is not going to be in this tap dance performance, I can very quickly just unclick his name, and that'll take him out of the performance. It does not take him out of the class for Steppers 2000, it just takes them out of the performance when it comes to this recital. I will note that if you are wanting to if you're wanting to drop anyone from a class, but you still want them to be in a recital, do not drop them from the class until after they have been after they have completed the recital. The reason I'm saying that is, let's say Larry wants to drop the class, but he still wants to be in the recital. If you drop Larry from the class before the recital, his name will not pop up here. It will not be an option. So you want to make sure that you are dropping them after the recital if they are participating in the recital or performance. So let's go ahead and unclick that. And so we've got that taken care of. And then let's say, oh, I want tap dance to be right after the intermission. All I have to do is grab tap dance, it'll highlight it, and then I just drag it all the way to the top where I want it. And you see that little dotted line that's going all the way across. You can just do that, and that'll take care of all of that. When it comes to solos, You can absolutely do solos. What you'll want to do is, so as you can see, this is a solo tap. You can just add somebody. So I've got Courtney Lincoln in here. Courtney is going to be the solo tap performer for this performance. So what I've done is I've added a class that has Courtney in it, and I've unclicked the two that are not going to be in that solo. So it's just got Courtney in there, and you'll see that when I show you some of the reports. If you decide that you want to completely delete a performance, let's say Courtney decides that she does not want to do the solo tap, you can very easily just click delete, and it will say, are you sure you want to delete the selected item? You can click yes, and that'll take care of it. It is now gone. Let's look at the conflicts. So when we're looking at conflicts, so it shows that there are 3 conflicts. This is all based off of the performance conflict gap that I was talking about earlier. So this means that, so let's say this one is showing Nelson Franks is performing in Showsteppers and Trick Stars. So that means Nelson Franks is in this first, there he is. He's in this first performance, and he's also in this second performance. That means that this conflict gap has identified that he may not have enough time based off of the rule that I set, that I need him to have one conflict gap or one performance before he goes into the next one. That way it allows him to make his costume changes, get to the other side of the stage, catch his breath, whatever he needs to do. You base this 100% off of your students and what you know that they're capable of. You can put this to 0. You can view and refresh. You're not going to have any conflicts. Let's say you've got really young ones in there and you know that they need 3 conflict or performance conflict gaps in there. You can click 3, you can click view refresh conflicts, and you can scroll all the way down. You see that there are going to be 10. There are many different ways that you can solve conflicts. It's really, really just a problem solving of a puzzle in your head. So you can, drag this down, and let's say you're going to see if that will help it. And let's change this back to 1. So then I've got that. So now I've still got 5. So then you can drag this all the way over here. Let's drag that. And then let's see now. So now I've got 6. So I did worse. So again, it's really just how you want your performance to look like, how you want your performances to go, and then based off of that, you can kind of alter your conflict gap as needed to make sure that that is taken care of. You can also add intermissions here. It will count as a performance. So if you do have a performance conflict gap of 1, this is still going to be there. So let's say you have a performance conflict gap of 2. You can view and refresh. So you've got this Showsteppers here, and then intermission and tap dance. So if there is somebody in this tap dance class that's also in this Showsteppers performance, this intermission is still going to count as a performance conflict gap. Even though it's 10 minutes long, it's not going to reset. It doesn't recognize that this is an intermission. It just recognizes this as a performance. So when you're looking at your conflicts, you might be able to ignore some of them because there is an intermission right here. When it comes to intermission, you can just edit it just like anything else. The performance, same here as intermission. The song is just blank. I've left it blank, a length of 10 minutes, and then lights will flicker when 1 minute remains is my note there. So that's everything when it comes to performances, adding classes and students to performances. And then we've identified conflicts, and we are ready to finalize the recital. So then you are going to, once you do all of that, you're going to then manage your recital. Ways that you can manage your recital is there are different reports all the way up here that you can look at. I'm not going to go into every single one of them, but these are ways that you can print programs. So as you can see, recital program here, you can export it to Word. That way you can kind of customize it the way that you want to. The export Excel, this is student details. This is going to show you every single detail that you have on a student. So let's say you are looking for allergies, you're looking for emergency contacts, you're looking for what recital performance they are in, that will show everything right here. This print detail, this will show you, I'll click this one. So this is going to show you the time of how long each performance is, the name of it, and then every single student in the performance. So these are really nice if you want to give it to, like if you've got somebody who is doing the tech side of your recital, or showcase anything of that nature, you can give them this. That way they have all of that information that they need. So let's go ahead and close that. Let's go back to that spring show. And then there is also the print family detail. This will show that if there are more than one family member in a recital, it'll show that. Print summary, this is just a really quick way. It's very similar to the print detail, but it will not show the student name. And then also this is really nice is the create check-in, check-out sheet. You can do this and that way it will show every single person who is supposed to be checked in and checked out. That's a great way to make sure, hey, I've got everyone here for the performance. We're ready to go. So let's look at other ways that we can use recitals. Again, I have said at the beginning that you can change this recital here to make it anything that you want. So if you're a swim school, if you're a gym school, you can change this to anything else. You can say swim meet, you can say gym competition listing. And so I've got a couple of different recitals here that have been catered for a swim and a gym. So let's look at the swim first. Let's say we're doing a swim meet. And so I've got that. I've got the swim meet. I've got the date. Let's say the time is let's say 1 o'clock to, let's say 2:30. So then I've got here, I've got what I have as elementary freestyle, middle school relay. These are all of the performance names. And then you can just click on this. You can see that I've got students in here. And what I've done is so you can't necessarily change these titles here, the performance name, song length, and notes, but you can use this in any way that you want. So you might not be able to redefine this in Jackrabbit, but you can redefine it in your head to make this functional for you in the way that you need it. So I've got here elementary freestyle. I've got 25 meters. That's a short little race for these little elementary school guys. And then I've got the length. So I've got the length here is 1 minute, 15 seconds, but I've redefined this in my mind to make this 1 p.m. or 1:15 p.m. And then I've got here 25 meters. So I've got that saved. So as you can see, the start time is 1 o'clock. So that means the first race is going to be at 1:15. So that's just another way that you can redefine this and make it make sense for you and functional for the way that you need it. Same thing here, you can do middle school relay. And you can, instead of that song, you can put the type of event. So if they're going to be doing butterfly here, you can put butterfly. And then it's a co-ed relay and it's at 1:30. Same with the high school, you can do the same thing. That's exactly what I've done here. And you can just kind of create this in the way that you want it to be created. Same here when it comes to the gym competition. You can do the same thing as you can do floor performance, beam performance 2. And so as you can see, I've got here multiple 9 o'clock performances. So you can just create, if let's say I made a new one. And let's say this is going to be floor performance. If I can type today, and then I'm not going to be able to think about a song real fast, but let's say I've got another 9 o'clock one. I click save there. So you see how this came in at the very bottom. That's because it's the newest one that I put in. So if you're going to use this recital feature in the way that I am showing you how to right now, you just want to make sure that you're dragging this up here so that you are reaching that at the floor as well at 9 o'clock. That way you kind of keep them in order. Same thing here when you're looking at the print detail, it will show you the same thing. And that way you can still say, hey, look, Courtney is going to be on the floor at 9 o'clock. And then I've got Cynthia here on beams at 9 o'clock. That way it has everything that you need when it comes to looking at all of that. So that is what it comes to when it comes to recitals. It really, really seems like it is a lot to look at or to maintain, but it really is not too complicated. I will say that when you are going to change, or if you're going to use this for swim school, for a gym competition, anything of that nature. This performance conflict gap is a little bit more tricky because you might have multiple events at the same time. So if you have, who's doing this one? So I've got Courtney Lincoln here doing this floor performance 1. And as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 o'clock events going on. So you've got 9 or 4 events going on at the same time. So this is going to recognize this as 1 or 1, 2 performances. So then she could technically be in this 9 o'clock beams performance. So you just want to make sure that you're being aware of that if you are going to use it in this way. And let's say you've got 4 of these performances at 9 o'clock, you want to change this to maybe 4 to 4. So that way you can then have enough time for Courtney or any of your other students to get ready for their next performance and make sure that you are not overlapping them in time. I do want to go ahead and show, so let's say that we are here. This is back to our general settings, but let's go to a student. And let's go to Courtney Lincoln because I know that she is in a lot of these recitals that I have. So you can see here, so this is her student summary, and then I'm over here in classes. Here's that recital participation. It is showing that she is in yes for all of these. That's because for all of the recitals I have her as, she is on a yes. So let's look at, you can also do that by looking at classes. And let's see, I know I've got this group in there. And recital participation here. So this is again in the enroll list, and it's showing that everyone is participating in this. So let's say I had said that Michael Adkins was not participating. This right here would show no. And then another thing that we can do is we can, if we were to go here and we were to, if you were to drop this student, if you were to drop Michael Adkins, he would then not show up on this recitals. Well, it's going to ask me to save everything. If I had dropped him, he would then not show up in my recitals when it came to my swim meet. So he would then not show up right here. But again, I don't want to because I see that he's going to be in this recital. I'm not going to drop him. All I can do is just unclick this. I can refresh roster, close that, go back to Michael Adkins. I can go back to his recital participation and see how that now says no. So that is everything there. Let's say we do want to drop him. We can drop him. We can say drop date. Has this class been completed? No. Reason, let's say change class, drop. Here we are. We're going to go back to that swim meet. We're going to go back here. We're going to refresh roster and see how it says removed 1 student due to class drops. Now Michael is not able to be clicked here. He is not recognized as being on this roster because he's no longer on the roster. So that takes care of that. And I think I have covered everything. This is a shorter webinar today. I know it said that it was an hour long, but here we are at 1:26. And I think I have covered pretty much everything. If you are not in the, let's say you're not in this event or this recitals feature, you can also go over here to reports. You can click find reports and you can type in recital and it'll bring you the exact same thing that I showed you earlier when we were in the recital feature. So you can click, list recitals. That'll show you all of your recitals. Let's go back to reports. Find reports, go back to recital. And let's say you want to do recital print detail, you can do this. It'll then take you exactly to this recital feature and you can click which one you want, and then it will allow you to pull up these reports. So, like I said, that is everything that I have. I know that there are probably still questions coming in. Laura and Bethany, if y'all need any help answering any of those questions, just let me know. But that is everything that I have for today. I know I said it is a shorter webinar, but I don't want to take up any more time than is needed. So here is the jackrabbittech.com. That's obviously where you can find us. If you have any specific questions about any training, any webinar, anything of that nature, go to training@jackrabbittech.com. And then if you want to scan that QR code, you will be able to do that. Scan it right now. That'll join your or give you the option to join the Facebook user group. And I highly recommend doing that. And then the last thing is when you leave this webinar, it will ask you to complete a survey. Please take a couple of minutes. It really takes about 30 seconds to complete. That'll give me a lot of good information about how you all perceive this information and if you found it helpful or not. So thank you. And I do hope that everyone has a great day.